53-man?
Yes.
With Flanagan fouls, he's out, right? Who becomes the backup linebacker, middle linebacker?
Who does?
Yeah.
It's a secret.
This then, how has Tatum Bethune been? What have you guys seen from him since training camp and these games?
He's been good. He did a good job at backup Mike linebacker to the backup during preseason. Runs the huddle well. He's mixed in there throughout the week, especially with Fred not being able to practice much. So he does a good job. For he's needed, he'll be ready.
Do you expect to call up Trent? I'm sorry. Do you expect to call up Trent to return punts?
There's a chance. Trent's an option. Juice is an option. Jake's an option. Ronnie Bell's an option. So we still don't know about Jake yet. But if Jake can't go, all those other guys are choices too.
Now, there's a lot of different pass plays and all these different route combinations. Who does you just devise them and design them, and where in the process is this off-season stuff, or does it happen like in every week you devise all these different route combinations?
We have the foundation of the stuff we work on. We do all off-season, just how we distribute guys. So the quarterback gets good at it, the receivers get good at it, and then we usually study the coverages on Monday and Tuesday, and we do most of that on our own. Get together later on Tuesday afternoon and decide which ones we're going to finalize, mainly based off of what our players are good at. Well, first of all, what we're going against, and then what we're going against to see what we like with our players. And then we do the same thing the next night for third downs, then we do the next night for red zone. So it's a little bit of everybody.
How has the absence of Christian McCaffrey impacted the offense in the red zone in particular?
Kind of the same way as the rest of the field. When Christian's out there, it's easier in everything you do. But he usually is pretty automatic in his one-on-ones, and that's why when you have players like Christian, I think it helps you know what you're getting a little bit more. That defenses understand how good he is in one-on-ones, so you expect two people to be there, which helps you with other places, and just helps you know what you're getting a little bit better.
With I think the latest forecast is 95 degrees at kickoff. What's the story with your guys' uniform situation where you wanted to get to all white or something, and then just how have you prepared for?
When I was in the East Coast, that was such a big deal. Being in Tampa Bay and things like that, you'd always want to wear those whites early in the year. Didn't have to worry about that much out here, but got the memo earlier in the week that it was going to be hot like this, so we asked on Monday, and we weren't allowed to do it. You had to do it before the season started. So, in order for us to do it, we kind of got to make like a conscious decision or a commitment before the year that we wear all whites until like the middle of October or whatever, and then go to normal. But it's not usually this hot, but we'll probably do that now just in case.
So you guys are gonna have white pants now?
Yeah, they'll let us do our throwbacks, just alternate it with other ones. So we'll get as much white on as possible, and the most we possibly can do is white pants. So hopefully it helps a little.
Just guessing hydration is what you're.
Yeah, that's everything. That's what we keep saying.
Will more guys get pregame IVs? Is that a thing?
I would assume so. Each person's different. Sometimes when you push IVs a lot, then people think they don't have to hydrate at all, and they just depend on the IV. So we're not preaching all that yet, but that's usually what you do in these situations. A number of guys do it just as a routine anyways on Sundays. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot more are doing it this Sunday.
In the Southeast, in Texas, in college, did you ever do that?
Always. Yeah, always.
How does it make you feel like
Better.
After you get it?
Better. I still do it. If I had too much fun the night before. Yes.
Had that thing with the uniform said it had never come up before this week?
No, we've never known in advance how hot it was going to be, and honestly, since I've been here, it never seems too hot. I feel like even on the hottest days, I still need a hoodie at some time during that day. But this week has felt different, and I truly believe Sunday's going to. So it's the first time we've really looked into it, and I think that's been a rule for a little bit. We just had to get reminded on it.
A rule that you have to commit before
the season starts. Yeah.
You guys have 2 games in 5 or 6 days, whatever it is, 4 days. I know you're always gearing everything towards the next game, but in a situation like this, do you take some of your staff and say, hey, we want you guys to look at Seattle and get going on Seattle so you don't have to start from...
Yeah, guys, there's so much, busy work that needs to be done so you can evaluate people the right way. Just how our cut-ups are done, all the stuff that you got to input in a computer, so we know the areas to look at. So, guys work on that stuff usually all day Monday. And we get going on the rest. It's Monday night once we put the game to bed from the day before. And then you get all day Tuesday to really do that stuff. And now you're cramming a whole week into one day. So those guys can't be doing any busy work. As soon as we come in early on Monday, we're going right away. So guys got to get that stuff done in advance. But in terms of like studying and getting your creativity and trying to get prepared for that, I've never done it personally. I just, I don't like to mix things together. I like to be all in on one thing, and no matter how little of time you can commit, you can get all in on something else, especially when you get 3 days off after it.
Arizona ran for about 240 against you guys last year. You won the game. What makes their running game such a handful?
They got a good scheme. They got a really good quarterback. A really good running back, and then they got a really good quarterback who's a threat on every single play. Whether he runs any, you always got to honor him. And when you play 11-on-11 football in the run game, it's something that you don't have to do week in and week out, and that always makes it a more challenge. And what they do schematically, and James Conner's a stud, so all of it together.
You've got a lot of guys who are very into health and sleep and all those type of things. Juszczyk is maybe the leader of that. I don't know if that's true or not, but how does that manifest itself? What do you notice that he does just to make sure he can play at 33 and beyond?
Just him in particular, he's just extremely smart. He's very detailed on everything he does. Like, just the way those guys prepare and all year around, really. They don't just do it in football season. But I learned stuff just listening to them, just not to be an athlete, but how to be a healthy person, what they put in their bodies. They know everything that goes in their body. And just the recovery, everything they do. Like, Juice definitely is one of the top in it. Christian is, Fred, Bosa, all these guys it's become such a big deal. And when you have guys who have the success they have, it's so cool for us as an organization, because young guys come in, they see it, they ask questions, and just hanging around those guys, I think collectively our team gets so much better at all that stuff.
What have you incorporated that's healthier? Can you share?
Me?
Yeah.
I sleep more in the off season. I drink more water. Doesn't work as much for me. I put some stretch things in my office, but that's about it. I use it once a week. Mainly just stresses me out that I don't do it. But if you get really out of shape for a while, your body gets used to it, and you don't feel as bad. That's kind of my secret. Guys who are in real good shape and they miss like a week of working out, they feel miserable. But if you can tough through that for like a couple more months, then it just becomes natural. So, all right, there you go. All right, guys.